take a few minutes today and talk about the March Google Update 2024. People freaking out, as they always do. However, I'm not freaking out. I hope you're not freaking out. I don't think I've ever been affected by an update. And it's simply because you do the things that Google wants, and you stick to the basics. And then up here, you've got all these different crazy ideas and hacks, which I've used, some of them. And those come and go. Don't rely on them. Rely on the basics. Rely on, gosh, I hate to use the term best practices. That's so overused. But do stuff that that works, that's legit. We're all on the edge with SEO. A lot of times we live on the edge, but if you go past the edge, we all know where the edge is, then you're going to have problems. I want to run through the three things that a lot of people are worried about, and the three things that Google touched on with this update, and just kind of say and kind of point out where the edge is, and how you can go beyond the edge, and how you can stay within the parameters and be safe, in my humble opinion. Expired domain abuse. That's when a domain is used by, for example, a domain is used by a medical site, and then it's repurposed for low quality casino related content. So they're talking about buying a domain that was completely different than it was previously, and then changing it to a casino related content. We're talking about very, very spammy content: casino, adult, payday loans, Viagra, stuff like that. What I've talked about in my previous videos, and that is still fine and still works, is building a very small PBN. My PBNs have 40 articles on them, completely under the wire. I think they're talking about buying a previous site with a lot of juice, putting thousands of spammy articles on there for spammy categories. If you're living in a small town and you're building small town PBNs, and the PBNs have value. Another thing that I do, and let me just show you here. I told ChatGPT to give me 20 topics to write about Philadelphia, PA, and that's a larger town, but this works there too. The founding of Philadelphia, and make the whole site about the founding of Philadelphia. That's something of value to people. And then you put your link on the homepage, maybe at the bottom, in context, in the content, but say, when in Philadelphia and you need, restoration services, click here. That's all you got to do. But the rest of the site, is about something of value. And I would, make it about things that are of somewhat academic importance. The Mural Arts Program, arts in Philadelphia, the universities in Philadelphia, education, economic development, stuff, fine arts, the music scene, summer events in Philadelphia, the rise of modern Philadelphia, historical neighborhoods, anything like that is very educational, and I would consider that to be helpful content. And you do 5 of these, and you've got the content. You got 40 articles, 30 articles. You haven't did anything at scale. They're completely under the wire, and they will serve you well. But it's when you do the spammy casino thing, as Google pointed out, or Viagra or payday loans or whatever, it's going to be it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. So keep everything low and tight. And it says right down here, this is exactly what I'm hitting on. It's fine to use an old domain for a new original site. It's fine to, I'm gonna repeat that. It's fine to use an old domain name for a new original site that's designed to serve people first. Now, I made the mistake of one of my PBNs. I put about at least 10 articles on there about roofing. I'm going to take those down because those stick out like a sore thumb in a PBN about things to do in my town. But I will put put just a small link on the homepage. And if you saw the video that I posted previously, people are putting this gentleman that's selling the PBNs. He puts the link on the homepage. I want to show you something else too while we're here. I'm not going to name names. I probably ought to, but SEO Services in St. Joe, Missouri. I'm right here at the top. Just wanted to point that out. But there was a certain gentleman who's a big guru on YouTube, and he was coming up in my town for SEO Services in St. Joe, and he probably did every town in the United States. If he was coming up in St. Joe, he did. And he's gone, and he got hit hard because he's not only doing spammy things, he's getting on YouTube and posting about it and how you can do spammy things, parasite this, parasite that. And I follow him, he's once in a while he'll throw out something I can actually use. That's cool. But at some point you've got to do, some legitimate stuff. If you're, are you in it for the short game or the long game? Right now, LinkedIn articles seem to be ranking well. It's kind of hit and miss, but it's short game. If you're doing parasite SEO, it's probably short games. So local SEO, and I'll preach about this on and on and on. It's somewhat buffered. If you're out there trying to do national SEO affiliate stuff, you're going to get hit. I mean, you're probably going to get hit. Google constantly wants to get rid of affiliate stuff. We know that now. And they want to get rid of parasite SEO. They want to get rid of anything spammy, anything at scale. Because affiliate people, and I have did it before, do things at scale. We want to hit every word possible for that affiliate product, and we overdo it. Local SEO, you're very concentrated. You're very surgically concentrated, and you want to help one business. You want to build a few small PBNs. You need a few small links, or not small links, but you need a few niche links, and you can rank well if you optimize your page, optimize your GMB, and get a few niche links. You're good to go. You're completely under the radar, completely. And that's the best place to be. That's where I've stayed. That's how I'm protected from Google updates, is because you're so far under the wire that you'll probably never get hit. But a lot of these people are just making themselves targets because they're so obvious and they're so out there. They expose themselves by telling the world, hey, here I am, here's what I'm doing. You need to do this too. And they don't even make an effort to be discreet. So anyway, back to the document. Skilled content abuse. And I think this is pretty self-explanatory. It's unoriginal content that provides little or no value to users, no matter how it's created. And I want to, one thing I do use is Yaks. And the one thing I will do from here on out is my Yaks builds are going to be small. They're going to be 50 pages or less. I've been doing about 100 pages. Now, the one thing about Yaks that I think Jennifer's been really smart about is each build goes on a different hosting site. So if you've got a 100-page website, you're putting it on, say, 10 different hosting sites. That's not 1,000 on one site. That's not scaled. It's scaled in the sense that it's at different websites, and it should be different content if you built it right. So you've got 100 pages at different hostings. You got 100 different websites, or not 100. You got 10 different websites with 100 pages, and it should be different content. And I wouldn't consider that scaled, but I would say I would scale that down to about 50. That way you're completely safe. Now you've got 50-page website on 10 different hostings. How could is that a threat? Is that a spam? I seriously doubt it. Google's looking for. I mean, there's people out there that are scaling in huge amounts. And don't worry about your 50-page PBN, Yaks PBN. You need to worry about your 10,000-page casino site. And your little 50-page Springfield, Missouri site is not a problem, but your 10,000-page Viagra site could be, or affiliate site, whatever it is. I'm using Viagra. I'm using the obvious spam categories. So keep everything small. There's no in local. There's no reason not to. Scaled content for local makes no sense whatsoever. 1,000 pages will not help of niche content will not help your local site. But 10 different links coming in from niche sites will. And I'm, if you haven't guessed yet, I'm moving from scaled content, which I have did in the past, down to very small, very few links with niche content on it. If I got a local roofer, I'm doing local roofing backlinks. Local roofing, not just roofing backlinks. However, I have seen some roofing sites rank because every roofing site in that network link back to them. And that's important. It's important to get links from roofing sites. They don't have to be local, but local helps. For my money, local helps much better. Site reputation abuse. And this is parasite SEO. I really don't do any of this to speak of. Such third-party pages include sponsored advertising partner or third-party pages that are typically independent of a host site's main purpose. And I think what they're referring to is there's some news sites that have found out that if they sell blog space, they can make a lot of money, and they have been doing that. I think India Mart, one of them. But this has been a problem. Now sites like Medium and LinkedIn, I don't think that's going to be a problem, but because they're not selling anything. And it also points out here, let's see here. Site reputation abuse is when third-party pages are published with little or no first-party oversight or involvement. So if the site's heavily vetted and heavily monitored, is like, Reddit is heavily monitored. It's hard to put anything spammy in there or even self-promotion without getting deleted. It's heavily monitored. And Google likes that. Google likes to rank sites that are heavily monitored. But if they're selling blog space, Google here is saying that's going to be suspended from their SERPs. So it says it doesn't consider all third-party content to be a violation, only that which is hosted without close oversight, which is intended to manipulate. And so you'll kind of have to decide which sites that you're posting to Web 2.0s that fit or do not fit in that category. But like I said, I don't use Web 2.0s at all anymore because I can't get them indexed. I post to 300 of them, some of the biggest ones out there, and nothing gets, little or no indexing at all with them. So there's no reason to use them. If your backlink's not getting indexed, Google is saying it's not, it's not. Not only is it not worth indexing, that tells you it's worthless as a backlink. So again, if you're doing local SEO, most of this should not affect you in any way, shape, or form. And that is how you stay under the wire. Local is, again, it's a moneymaker. There's so many good things about it. I'm gonna do a video about the advantages of local over doing national SEO. And every 6 months, if you're doing national SEO, you're going to deal with something like this. It comes in waves, and everybody freaks out because everybody's dependent on that affiliate money or whatever they're trying to do. You're dependent on that new sale. You're always dependent on that new sale. Local SEO, the new sale isn't what's important. It's the rebuild that's what's important. You put everybody on auto pay, and you sell it once, and then you get the payment each month, and you're done. You don't have to sell something every day. You've got a nice monthly income, and you don't have to worry about all this chaos. You want chaos, do something other than local SEO. And that's my sermon for today. Hope this helps you out, and once you're under the wire, you usually stay under the wire. I'm not saying that you won't have problems. Not saying that at all. But typically, I have not had much of this kind of problem. I have problems. Everybody has problems. You deal with them, but I don't have to worry about Google wiping me out. It just, they're looking for somebody other than the local SEO guy. They're trying to weed out large amounts of spam. And and I want to say one more thing. I know this video is getting a little longer than my normal videos. Google says some stuff that some people question whether they are able to even do it. Many times, speculation is they're saying, okay, this is what we want, and SEOs quickly run out and change everything, and Google doesn't have to touch a thing because they called your bluff, and they just know that you'll go out, and there's a large percentage of people that will go out and change everything because Google says that we can now weed this stuff out. And maybe they can, maybe they can't. I don't know. But you might wait they're doing this manually. From what I understand, people are getting hit manually. And so there's got to be, there's billions of web pages out there, and if you've got a 5 domain PBN with 40 pages, they don't have time for it. They don't have the manpower to deal with you, but they do have the manpower to go out and knock out some of the biggest websites on the planet, which is what they want. You put your resources where you can do the most, be the most productive, and that's where they're going right now. The bigger sites with the most abuse. So, if they're doing this manually, the chances of them hitting everybody is very slim. If they're doing it algorithmically, and I'm not sure they are, then they could hit a bigger swatch of but they got to be careful, and they know this, that they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They don't, with expired domains, a lot of people buy them and do legitimate things with them. So they can't necessarily, delete every expired domain that comes out. Some large sites, well, just like down here at the site reputation abuse, they actually address this. They said that, they don't consider all third-party content to be a violation, so they can't do mass deletion because they're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, for lack of a better expression. They're going to delete everybody. They don't want to do that because they know there's some legitimate stuff and there's some illegitimate stuff out there. Spam, I wouldn't call it illegitimate, but it's spam. So they don't want to just go out and wipe out everybody because that doesn't make any sense either. So they got to be careful. They have to be targeted. And sometimes the only way they can be targeted is to do manual, auditing. So anyway, I've rambled on enough, but again, stay out of the dragnet.